It be like chill, surrounded by positivity, everyone is real. I've had
Once
too
you get
much
into
dick,
deep into
I'm
your
just
20s,
thinking how I feel.
you've
I
probably
have another
experienced some
drink, then the
pretty
truth
sketchy
get
stuff that you weren't really
revealed.
taught how to deal with, man, and it's fine, it's okay.
Alright, welcome to our first episode of Chill Recognize Chill. Our very first guest that we have is Parker Landers. He is one of the skateboarders that my group of friends, we all looked up to. He was part of the generation right above us, and we have the privilege of sitting down and speaking with him today. Thank you for coming in.
Of course, cheers.
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well, man. I'm doing pretty damn good.
How was your day?
It was good. I got a lot done. I slept in. I'm a fucking weekend warrior now because I work during the week, so I slept into like fucking noon.
Nice.
And I never get to do that, so I actually feel really, really rested for this. So you can ask me anything. I'm prepared.
Dope. I don't know when the last time was I slept until noon. When I try, I usually always just wake up before my alarm, but
I feel you.
I'm working on it.
What about you, man? How you doing?
Not bad. Just working. A lot of work. Exhausted, but things are going good.
Yeah. Nice.
Are you from here, or you moved here?
Yeah, I've lived in Orlando since I was like 5 years old. Before that, I lived in like Arizona and Georgia for just like when I was a tiny kid, but I don't remember that. Pretty much my whole life's been in Central Florida.
You were born here? Or?
No, I wasn't born here though. I was born in Arizona, lived there for like a year when I was like an infant. Then I lived in Colorado, then I lived in Georgia, and then my parents moved here when I was like kindergarten. So
Gotcha.
yeah, I've been here ever since.
Nice. There's nowhere you ever thought about moving to, or you're good with here for now?
Honestly, I started a business here with a friend recently, which like part of me is like, fuck, was that the right move? Because I love Orlando. I got a lot of love for Orlando, but I have been here for so long that it would be rad to at least give some other places a try. I mean, I lived in Miami for 7 years when I was in school, but I didn't love Miami. Like as far as living, I would rather live in Orlando than Miami, but I got a lot of yeah, it's so hot and it's more congested and the traffic's worse and everything's more expensive. So it was all right. It was fun going to school there, but I don't know. A lot of friends tell me I would like Austin, Texas. A lot of friends say like San Diego. So I'm definitely not like stuck here forever. I don't have that mindset where like I want to stay here forever, but for the time being, I'm cool with it.
When did you start skating?
So I'm not going to make this all about Jack Moran, but Jack Moran got me into a lot of shit. Like I got to give like super props to that dude. Like he got me into playing hockey before I skateboarded. And then I like ended up being like really into hockey for a little bit. And then he started
street hockey?
Yeah, like street hockey. Okay. And
interesting.
And I was like pretty good at that too. I had a lot of fun doing that. Like I was like a little bit of an angry kid, so it allowed me to take out some of my aggression. And then he started skating. Like as we were both playing hockey, he started skating, and I was like, we play hockey, like why are you skating, you know? Like I didn't really get it. And he probably skated for like maybe 6 months or so before I ever skated, and eventually he's just like, dude, get a board and start skating. And that was it. I was probably like 11 years old. I got a board and like met up with him, and like I would go to his house like most days after school and just practice learning how to ollie and just do the basic shit. So nice. I mean, from like pretty much day one, I like never stopped, you know what I mean? Like I would at least skate a little bit every day for those first legit like 10 years.
And how did you meet Jack?
Jack I've known since I was 3 years old.
Jeez.
When we were like 3 years old, our moms met and put us in like the same daycare. And then we went to like Montessori school, which is like preschool. We went to preschool together. And then from preschool, we were like at the same school in elementary, middle, and high school. So I mean, like again, he's like one of my best friends, like with or without skating. Nice.
I remember the first USS video. There was a second USS promo video. And Buddy Buddy was always like that main classic for me. I feel like a lot of people would agree. And you were talking about John earlier. He's that one person I definitely wouldn't find on Instagram, but definitely tried to give him props for sure whenever I would talk about Buddy Buddy.
He's the myth. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like John Scarborough, if you're watching this, or if anyone knows John Scarborough, tell him to hit us up. I haven't been able to find him in like 5 years.
Hope he's doing good.
Yeah, he is. He's a sharp guy.
If we can get a hold of him, it'd be cool to get him over here for sure. videographer to videographer. It'd be cool to talk to him.
Yeah.
Let's talk about USS. Was that your first sponsor, or did you?
Yeah, that was like really my main, like the only company that like consistently ever really like hooked me up and kind of like paid for me to skate contests and motivated me to like take skating pretty seriously. There was a dude we named JT. He was the guy that like kind of gave me in jack boards and whatever other little things that they could give us at the time. And then the owners were Joe and Todd. Joe and Todd, like I think they both still work in skate shops like to this day. I think Todd works at Catalyst and Joe works out in New Smyrna Beach. All those people were super cool, always hooked it up, always kind of kept me motivated to skate. So yeah, like USS was, I feel like if USS didn't exist, I don't think I would have got as deep into skating as I did when I was that young, because there was no Instagram, there was no Facebook, there was no YouTube, like, you know what I mean? Like there's no phones with a fucking camera. So like to get into something really deep, you had to have like your own actual network. And USS was the hub. I don't know if you guys ever skated the plaza. You probably did, with the fucking 5-stair right in front.
Oh yeah.
And like the big flat ground area in front. There's like a little bank coming down from that little Chinese restaurant, like sketchy little bank.
There was that drop gap too.
The drop gap.
The first time I saw it was after that USS, that first promo premiere.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Over
everybody
by
was
the
out
subway
skating
or whatever.
around.
Yeah. The little fucking over the curb. So yeah, like I've skated there hundreds of times, like hundreds of times with those dudes. So yeah, USS was like a big part of like the Orlando skate scene back then, for sure.
Definitely. I assumed that USS Catalyst just branched off of USS.
Yeah, some dudes like came in, and I guess the story goes that they met with Todd and they're like, yo, we want to buy USS, and Todd was willing to sell it, and like they just like bought it, repurposed, and, you know, came up with a new name. And like I think Todd still works there and kind of works with these dudes that own it.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't been over there yet, but I know I met a good amount of skaters who skate for them or represent them. Hear a lot of good things about it. So I don't know if they have a mini ramp inside the shop. That was one of the best things about the USS shop,
dude. Yeah, I know the one on University doesn't. I went in there. I've been in there a couple times over the last couple of years. I'll go in and say hi to Todd and like get grip for a board or something like that.
Nice.
Yeah, I wish they had a mini ramp. I'm like terrible at mini ramp because there's never been a good mini ramp around here for me to skate. It's been like so long. That's my excuse for sucking at riding a mini ramp.
Yeah, I just started learning, actually, teaching at summer camp at Metro. I'm doing all the street stuff. Like I know all street, and all the kids there, they skate transition, and so like they're teaching me stuff. And then like after I got the basics down, I could like actually like help them out with some more stuff. But it's been fun learning.
I feel like when you're short, man, it's like those little kids that are so low to the ground, they can just like shred a mini ramp. It's not fair. Like when me and you fall on a mini ramp, it's a long way down.
Yeah, it's different too, because learning with pads on versus learning without. Like when you have the knee pads on, you can slide out of anything. Yeah. So they're asking me to try stuff. I'm like, no.
Yeah, for a street skater, knee sliding is so awkward. It doesn't feel normal.
It's not something I want to get used to doing. It's not a go-to for me. For sure. Usually on the streets, that's your kneecaps gone.
Yeah.
Let's see. You like skating Vans a lot?
The park?
Yeah, you used to go there?
I used to go there. I mean, for me, it's a little far because I'm in like North Orlando. I'm in like Winter Springs, Oviedo area. So it was like a pretty good hike to get down there. It's probably like almost a 45-minute drive. But fucking AC, inside, smooth ground. They had a perfect little ledge there. I mean, I remember, I think I learned how to do a switchback tail there. And I stayed there all day and just did like 100 of them. I was like, I'm never gonna lose this trick, and I just like did it all day. And
it's a good one.
Yeah, that place was fun. Jack liked that place more than me. He could shred that place. He was like doing like nollie 180s over the pyramid and things like that. But dude, it can't beat smooth ground in an AC. That's pretty rare these days.
Yeah.
What about you? You skate there a lot? Because I know it closed down, like, how long ago would you say?
I'm not sure. I was out of town, or I left the state for a while, and I came back and they said it was closed, so I don't know exactly when they shut it down, but it's unfortunate either way. 8 years ago?
Really? That long? Like 2010? Yeah.
Dang. It's been a minute. But yeah, I think that was the first park that I ever skated, skate park-wise.
Really?
Yeah.
That's some bougie shit. That's like, you're lucky. My first skate park was like Fat City in
That's what I was about to ask
Kissimmee.
about, if you ever skated Fat City.
Yep. Fat City was probably one of the first skate parks I ever went to that was actually a legitimate skate park, not just ramps in a street. Man, I wish I could remember the dude's name that owns it. I think his name was Brian, actually. Really cool dude. And yeah, I used to hang out at Fat City a lot, and I learned a lot of tricks in there. I love that place, and the dudes that ran that place were also really cool. And the dude, if Brian, if he's watching, he's like, Parker, you're going to get a car one day and you're going to meet girls and you're never going to skate again. And I was like, you're fucking wrong, bro. And he's wrong, because all throughout all this, I went to college, like law school, all this shit, still skate no matter what. Like, I never go too long without at least like having a flat ground session, making sure I can do some of the basics.
Yeah, you hear about people who end up like quitting skating, or Jacob mentioned this earlier, like how people say they used to skate, but it's, to some, I guess, that's like a weird thing to say, because you feel like if you're a skater, you're a skater, just period. You might not skate as hard as you used to, but you don't get to a place where you say, I used to skate, where you just completely don't get on your board again. But I guess it depends on what makes people happy as they get older. I mean,
it's bizarre. Like, I know some dudes that are like, I would say just better than me, like always been better than me. And like some of those dudes like basically quit, like basically don't skate at all anymore. And that blows my mind, because I'm not even at their level, but I still feel like it's a part of me now. When I watch skating, I feel my body, like mentally, I almost feel like I'm mirroring what they're doing in my mind. And like, I've always kept up with the Barracks and Thrasher and all this shit all throughout school, all throughout me doing all these different things that I've done. So I don't know how anyone could like get really good at skating and then not do it when you're going to constantly be surrounded by it. Yeah. You know, so like, I think that's what's helped me is social media and like the Barracks and all these sites keep me interested in skating enough to where like, as long as those sites and platforms don't go away, I mean, I'll be 50 and I'll still skate, you know, like it's super fun. It's meditation now for me.
We're gonna hold you to that.
No, for real. I mean, I see like these, you see the clips on Instagram or somebody, they'll have like some old guy, he's 50, he's all gray hair, and he'll do like a kickflip. And I'm like, I want to do that, but I want it to be like at least a 3 flip, or like, like a fucking big spin heel flip. Like, I want to be able to do that when I'm 50 for sure.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, you saw, yeah. Like some dude did like a really proper kickflip, and he was like at least 50. And I'm like, yes, like it's so possible. I mean, fucking Guy Mariano is over 40, right? And he's still just insanely good.
Tony Hawk's 50 tricks.
Yeah, the 50 tricks. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, it's definitely something that I don't see myself ever not following skating. Like, I think I'll be 70 and I'll still want to watch fucking what kids are doing because of the progression. It's fascinating.
Let's talk about filming for the USS videos, and just filming for videos just in general, like how that was for you. I know most of those the USS ones were done by Derek.
Yep, Derek Prokosky, who lives out in Colorado now, I think. Yeah, I just actually found him on like social media, and I chatted with him a little bit. He still like snowboards a lot, skates a little bit, has a family, super cool dude. Yeah, him, like, well, I met, really like filming for me started when I met that guy, John Scarborough, though. I was skating one day at UCF, like skating a 3-stair, and he was just rolled up, and we just started skating together, not even really talking. We were just like doing kick flips and bullshit down the 3-stair. And after we both had skated for a couple hours, he's like, hey, what's your name? I'm like, oh, my name's Parker, my name's John. He's like, want to come back to my apartment and like watch some skate videos? And I was like, I guess this is a little weird, but fuck it, like we're skaters. So I went back to his house, we like watched a video. He showed me a video that he had made, and he's like, yeah, I film. And I was like, okay, like I don't know what that means. I was only like 15 years old. He's like, well, take my number, and if you ever want to meet up and skate, I didn't even drive at the time. He's like, I'll come pick you up. We'll go film. So literally, like from that day, he became like just like a super good friend of mine, would pick me up and drive me wherever I wanted to go or wherever he wanted to go, and we would go film. And like he liked to skate and he liked to film. So a lot of the footage that I have in like almost any video that I've been in 75% of it was filmed by John.
I actually remember that now.
Yeah.
Noticing that at
Yeah,
least.
you could probably tell. I mean, you're a videographer, so you could probably tell. Like, you can tell when somebody's part's filmed by a completely different person. You just know.
I forgot about that actually.
And again, I think I remember Derek lived kind of far away, and like he would a lot of times pick up and skate with like the other dudes, whether it be like AJ or Brian and some of these other guys. But you know, I didn't skate with Derek nearly as much as I skated with John.
He had a like guest trick in like some of your parts. I think I remember
John,
as well.
Yeah, for sure. He was really good at manuals, really good at fakey stuff. Not a nollie and a switch guy, but like fake half cab flips and things like that. He was really good at.
I feel like I saw him do a good switchback side flip once.
Yeah,
I think he was doing like an ongoing line once, and then
he did like the Stevie Williams switch backside flip where like you like catch it like really early and twist. Yeah, he did that, and that's not even his go-to. That was like, I'm gonna call him out on that. I was lucky because I know exactly which switch backside flip you're talking about, and it was super good. Yeah, that's probably the best one he's ever done, and he has it on film in a line. Like, it's so lucky.
That's what's up though.
But yeah, filming for those videos in general, I took them seriously, man. I don't know. Like, someone's like, you're gonna be in a skateboard video, and I was like, all right, fuck it. Like, I would make a trick list. I would at least write down like 10 tricks that I thought were like worthy, that I know that like it was going to be hard to do. And then usually I would get most of them, and some of them I would just eat shit and hurt myself. But yeah, I took it pretty seriously, and it was fun, man. I'm a competitive dude. My parts were never the best, but they were usually like the best that I could pull off. You know, like a lot of that shit, like it was not every try. You know, some dudes can film a part where like they could go refilm all the tricks.
These days.
Yeah, these days.
I feel like back then
it was like you would actually like work for tricks, and like I worked for like a lot of that shit for sure.
You ever broken anything?
Yeah, man. Only broke one bone in my whole life. It was fucking terrible experience. So I'm going on a cruise with my friend Jeff, and Jeff is a skater too, or like he ended up being a really good surfer. His name's Jeff Foltz. He was out of Lakeland, and him and I were going on this cruise. I was like 16 years old, and we go to get on the cruise ship with my family, and he's Canadian, and they're like, yo, you can't get on the boat, you're Canadian, and like you don't have a passport, and like this whole thing was planned. And he was super bummed, and I was like, you know what, like I'm not gonna fucking go if my friend can't go. Like, let's just like kind of party for the weekend and go skate all weekend. So my family went on the cruise. Me and Jeff, his mom comes all the way from like South Florida to Miami, picks us up, drives us back to Orlando, drops us off. The next day we wake up, we go skate. There's an 8-stair. I can't remember the name of this spot, but it was like this long ass 8-stair with a really tall handrail. And like, I'm not even that great at kickflips. Like, I'm like, okay, like whatever, like never been my main trick. And I was like, oh, I just want to kickflip this 8-stair. Like, second try, going way too fast, like catch it upside down, like only flip it halfway. Front foot lands on the front truck and just breaks my ankle in half so drastically bad that like, I just remember looking down, and like I was with AJ Burnett and Jeff Foltz, and they both looked at me, and they're like, don't look at your ankle, just let's go to the car. So I was like, try not to look at it. So I didn't know how bad it was, and they put me in the back of the car. And AJ is a fucking madman. Like, I don't know if you guys have heard stories about AJ Burnett, but that dude is super just sickening. Just the craziest stories ever. I have so many stories about him.
Waste.
They call him Waste, yeah. So he's driving from like 30 minutes away, like kind of probably around this area, I feel, all the way back to like Winter Springs or Oviedo where my house was. And they didn't take me to the hospital. They took me because like my dad didn't go on the cruise. Like my whole family minus my dad. So my dad was home. So they drove me. He's driving like 100 down Alafaya. Like, I'm not exaggerating. He was driving 100 miles per hour, and my leg is just shaking back and forth, and I fucking end up looking at it, and it's just like dangling. And I just started getting that feeling where like I couldn't even cry. It was like I was nauseous, like I was gonna puke. Yeah. And then like they fucking hobbled me inside. My dad's like a real tough guy. He owns a construction company. He's like a construction worker, so he's seen shit. He's like, yep, your fucking ankle's broken. Let's go to the hospital. And just brought me to the hospital. They set it, and like it was just so excruciating. Definitely probably the worst pain I've ever been in. Set my fucking ankle, got a cast, and I couldn't skate for. It was my freshman year of high school. I couldn't skate for like 6 months. Like by the time like I broke it to the time that I could skate again, 6 months. So I mean, it was terrible. But other than that, like, haven't actually had a real bad injury ever skating, except that. But to this day, I can tell, like, when I do a kickflip, I don't have the range of motion to like flick as fast. But when I do a switch flip, like, I can feel my ankle like fully kick off the tail. You know what I mean? So it does. It's a little bit of a hurdle, but it healed pretty good. Like, I would say it's 90% of what it was. So I can't complain.
That's crazy.
Yeah. The bummer though, they were at Oviedo High School. I went to Oviedo High School. I don't know if you guys ever knew about the Oviedo High School ledges. There were these perfect benches at Oviedo High School, like 3 or 4 of them in a row. The best place that I've probably ever skated in Orlando. Perfect ground, under the cover. You could skate them in the rain.
Is that where like it's a manual pad on top, or no? That's like Winter Park or something?
No, that's Winter Park. Okay. That's the brick one. So Oviedo High School was a place with like a 7-stair out in front. These like orange 7-stair rails. Yeah, and the 17. In the back, like, well, kind of in the middle, there was just this hallway of 4 10-foot long, you know, benches, the perfect height, perfectly waxed. You could slide them, grind them, nose blunt them, and manual them 4 in a row, perfect. And I break my ankle, and while I break my ankle, they take them out forever. So I didn't even get to like skate them the last time, you know, like all my friends were skating them, and then my ankle heals and the fucking benches were gone. I was so bummed.
That sucks. Yeah, I never even knew about that.
No, they're not still there, man. I dream about them every once in a while. Like, I'll have a dream that I'm like first person, like doing some line that I there's no way I could really do, you know, like I'm like switch flip back tailing the bench and all this shit.
Dream big.
And then I wake up and I'm pissed.
Was there ever any footage? Like, or no one was really shooting back then?
I mean, I was a freshman in high school in 2002. So that was like kind of right at the beginning of when all this stuff would have probably been starting to get filmed. Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was at least a few lines if we rewatched some of the footage where it might have been Oviedo High School. But for sure, the handrail was skated a lot. Like, I know I filmed a bunch of random ass lines on the handrail. But I
think that was my first board slide on a handrail.
Yeah, that was my...
Was it?
It was close to being my first. Did you skate it when it was fixed? Like, was the crack kind of fixed, or did you put like a piece of metal down?
We had to use a sign.
Yeah, we used a sign too. With the sign, it was perfect. Like, it was a pretty good rail.
It was nice and mellow.
Yeah.
You ever skate the gap like right next to it, just like over the grass, like over?
Honestly, never even tried to ollie that thing. Like, fuck that thing. That thing is huge.
It was
like,
just Vitaly one day. He just was like, I'll do a line and ollie it. Just kick-flipped off the curb and then ollied it. Just did it first try. It's on that first try shit.
When it's funny, you know, like, I feel like people don't realize when there's a curb before something versus not, it's drastically different. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? And like, and what sucks is on film it doesn't look that different. It's like, that's the same gap, you know, the gap is big or the gap is medium or small. But when you have a curb at the top, it just changes everything. And like, throughout all my years of skating, if there's a fucking curb before I'm trying to do something, I'm like, I don't need this. Like, knock the fucking curb out and call me, you know? Like,
you have to like haul ass, pop a bit higher.
Yeah. Like, and no, like, legit, like, you know, the Piedmont gap, like the big grass gap at Piedmont next to the 12.
Yeah.
I ollied that first try, like one and only try. And I would way rather try that than try the Oviedo one.
Damn. First try.
So yeah, the funny story about that. So I go up there and I'm trying to lip slide the 12. I board slid it. The 12 stair rail, is it still there?
Yeah, it is.
And this is so fucking long ago. So I board slide it, and a bunch of friends are there. There's like probably like a crew of 8 people, like Nick Fugel, fucking John Scarborough, Jack Moran, all these people are there. And I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna lip slide it. This is back when I liked skating handrails. So I rolled up to it so many times, and like they were all whispering, like kind of talking shit, like I probably wasn't gonna do it. And I was like, being like just a baby, like, nobody talk, like I want to try this. So I end up, my buddy Chris is like, bro, I think you're going too slow, like as I'm rolling up. So like this next try I haul ass and I ollie out to lip slide it and just kick my board out and like tiptoe down the whole rail and just like jump and slide on like my stomach.
Oh,
like
shit.
One of the sketchiest falls I've ever had without getting hurt.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I don't want to fucking lip slide this rail, I'm gonna ollie this gap right now. And I just went and first try ollie the gap. So it kind of like psyched me up to ollie the gap.
Yeah. Like, I survived that. I can survive this.
Yeah, I was like, fuck it, fuck that lip slide. Like, I want to like redeem myself.
Yeah.
And I ollied the gap, and then like that was probably the biggest and last thing that I ever ollied that was like to even talk about. You know what I mean? Yeah, Fred Tan ended up kickflipping it, right?
Yeah.
Like, so before that, I don't think anyone had ever ollied it. I think I was the first one who ever ollied it. This was like early 2000s. I don't know what video it made. I think it made a video.
Your ollie?
Yeah, it was.
That's what I was gonna say.
It was in the video part. I just don't know what video. It could have been in Fuck You.
That's what I was gonna say.
I bet it was
that's
in
the one
Fuck
I didn't
You.
get to see. I was worried about that video because we were at Rollins, like me and my homies. We were like just trying to film some stuff in. Kiffy was there and a couple of others were there, and Kiffy was trying to. He missed his first trick down the 4 before even getting to the 10, and we're just standing like by the 4 or something. I think we just got there, and he's like pissed, and he just looks at me and he yells, "Fuck you!" And I'm just like. And then they all laugh. And then they all laugh. And then in my head, I'm like, this shit better not be in the fucking video. And then I hear about, and then I see like teasers for promos or just some type of like, just like letting people know that something's coming out called "Fuck You." And I was like, oh, that's why he said it.
Yeah. Well, it probably wasn't even that personal because I like Sharpied a shirt that said "Fuck You" and like filmed half my part in that. Like we were just saying "Fuck you" to everybody. And
it was definitely just interesting because it's like I look up to this guy and then that's what he says, and I feel like he definitely did it more for the camera than than him having a problem with me or whatever.
100%.
But I was still like, man, fuck you. There's
he's funny as shit.
Reminds me of another story. You brought up AJ Burnett, who everybody called Waste. There was this one time where I don't remember how long ago, but it's after I've seen a couple of videos of them already. Probably after Buddy Buddy. But I think this was like AOL Instant Messenger days, so I'm on AIM. I somehow have his screen name. That's what it's called.
Okay.
Yeah, I say something about just like, I think you're a great skater. You look up to you. You're one of the sickest or something. And he says something back that's pretty rude along those lines.
Guaranteed rude.
And like I was always just like, man, fuck this guy, that sucks. Like, you know, when you like look up to someone, then you see how they act or whatever. But I actually reached out to him maybe like sometime last year because this was after I started the Just Chill Instagram and was posting stuff like every Monday, like just content. And I went through some buddy stuff, so I tagged him in some stuff. And he was just messaging me saying like, yo, this stuff was dope and everything. And I just said, yo, by the way back in the day, like this happened. And then he was like really quick to be like, yo, I'm so sorry. I was like, no, it's all good. Like I know they call you waste, so I assumed you were wasted or blacked out. And he was like, I guarantee it. And
guarantee.
Like, yeah, and he apologized and everything, so it was all good, but it was just another funny situation.
That's funny.
Little skater punks just
yeah, dude.
Fucked up.
He was the ultimate skater punk. Like, just such a bad kid, man. He was a bad kid, but super good at skating.
Yeah, that aggression is what gets us to be getting good at all of our tricks and just not giving a fuck when we go for things.
Yeah, he doesn't give a shit. He never gave a fuck. I've seen that kid do some like just amazing things way before its time too.
Yeah, I remember watching one of his parts and I was just like, I had to like play it back and realize what all was switch and what all was nollie, and I'm just like, damn, okay. Like,
yeah, he's definitely one of the best from Orlando. Like
that whole crew though, like yeah, Buddy. I mean, I was a big fan of Derek's work. He like inspired me like with my video and editing as well, but something about Buddy was always just made it a timeless video for me, and I feel like a lot of people would agree. Yeah, I remember watching that premiere at Metro, and yeah, something about it just stuck, and I was glad when they put it in the bonus features of Spotless because I had a way to actually watch it over and over again.
That's my only copy of it is because I have Spotless.
You know how long it took for Buddy?
Buddy, like within a year. Like, nice. You know what I mean? From like the time that we said we're making this video to like the time that it came out, it was probably around a year. And obviously some of the footage was, you know, everyone always has some old footage that they'll contribute to it. Yeah. But I mean, that was back when like, you know, a lot of us are in high school or like out of high school but still living in Orlando, so we had time, man. Like every fucking Saturday and Sunday we're filming, and sometimes during the week we're filming. So I mean, and a lot of that stuff is done the same day, you know, like me and Kiffy and Jack would go skate the same spot and I'll get a couple tricks, and then like Jack and AJ and Ryan would go skate a spot. So I mean,
yeah, when you're really bad, it doesn't really take too long to actually. think I'm just thinking now with like working so much how I can only like go out and film maybe once a week, so it seems like forever. But yeah, back then when you just go almost every day, it definitely comes together a lot quicker.
Yeah, I remember the summer that we filmed for that. Like we were like, it was like fucking king of the road, you know what I mean? Like John had this big ass fucking minivan that was super sketchy, and like we would pile into, just dirty skate rats pile into his minivan and drive all over town, you know, just hitting up all the fucking spots that everyone knows about. But we would just show up, try to get a couple tricks, get kicked out, go to the next spot, and do it from 11 a.m. till dusk, like almost every day during the summer. So like that's how a lot of those videos got filmed. We just filmed like a lot. I don't know how we jumped down shit like that. Like
when you're younger, you have that energy to do that. I think it's always funny when we actually get up earlier for skateboarding than like if you'd want to get up early for school kind of thing. Like, but when you're that young and that's all you really think about, it's not that hard, I feel.
I remember like the Ramada rail. Yeah. Still there?
Nah, it got like separated in 2 separate pieces, and I think the bottom one is gone now. Recently, he just told me, he just checked it out a few days ago. He says it looks like they're about to like tear down the whole building, apparently.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking
it's pretty old.
Renovations. Yeah, either renovations, but
like I'm not one to wake up that early, but I just was like, I'm gonna front board this rail. Like I was like at the skate park the night before, front boarding some fucking like parking rail, and I called John. I'm like, John, we're going to Ramada tomorrow morning, super early. I'm gonna front board this rail. He's like, you're not gonna fucking do that. Like I had never front boarded like more than a fucking 7-stair rail probably. And I was like, nope, we're going, and just like bother him for like the whole night because he didn't want to wake up. I wanted to go at like fucking 8 a.m. because we would get kicked out pretty easily back then. And I fucking like put on this, it was cold as shit. It was like wintertime. Put on this long sleeve shirt, and I'm running out my door, and my long sleeve shirt gets caught on the handle of the door and just like rips almost in half, like off my body. And I was like, this is a bad sign. I'm about to do something sketchy. Fuck it. And I just left the shirt on, went there, and front boarded it. Like I ended up front boarding it twice. Like the first one was kind of sketchy. It took me probably like, I don't know, 5 tries. And like if anyone saw the footage, like as I'm rolling away, you see like a skirt. It looks like a skirt because it's this button-up shirt like split in half, and like no one ever noticed it, but like I always noticed when I would see the footage, like there's my fucking ripped shirt.
Yeah,
like
you know the story behind it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to look that up.
But yeah, that was done at like 8 a.m.
It's morning missions.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
That's what's up though, when you want to try something bigger or something new, but like, and you're like mentally ready to do it, and then you like just go for it and you make it happen.
Yep.
It's one of the best things about skating. Let's see. USS videos. We talked about Buddy Buddy. Your Fuck You video. You have no copies of. I think they have it at Plus actually. I think I made Keith put it on because I was looking for that clip of me. I was like,
dude, did you see the beginning of my part?
I don't remember.
So the beginning of my part in Fuck You, it's this girl, I'm not gonna name her. We're skating this like neighborhood spot where we would have like the yellow flat bar down a curb, and then we would have like a box after it. So we would do lines, something on the bar, then something on the box. And this girl who was pretty hot was like walking the neighborhood and like saw a group of us up there skating, and I walk up to her and I was like, hey, like will you do me a favor? She's like, what do you want me to do? I was like, please flash your tits, we're gonna blur your face out, and then you're gonna say fuck you, and I'm gonna do this line. And she's like, not gonna happen, like Parker, you're crazy. So like I think Kiffy was there, and he comes over and we're like, come on, like we're making this video for all these people, which is like, you know, like there's no people, there's no all these people, we didn't have plans on selling it, we had like one like fucking sketchy camera, like we didn't even have like a VX or anything, it was like a sketchy camera. And we talked her into it. She's like, all right, and she's like, but you got to do it really quick. And I'm like, well, the line has to be good or it'll be stupid. So she flashes her tits, she says fuck you, and I think first try I did like backlip down the little flat bar and like a back tail on the ledge. So
nice.
So like right before the video drops, she's like, hey, whatever happened with that clip? And we're like, yeah, it's in the video, but your face is blurred out. She like got her mom involved and like tried to like threaten the police on us, and I was like, fuck it, put it in the video, I'll handle it. And we put it in the video anyway, and it never like, it was never a big deal, we never got in trouble. But yeah, at the beginning of my part, if you watch the video, it's a girl's tits and she's hot.
But wait, so she asked if it was put in the video before it was put out?
Yeah, like right when we're editing it and we're like ready to put it out, and like that's the start of my part. That was like the most psyched on like getting a girl to show her tits. This is back in like 2003, dude. And And she was pissed. She was like telling people, like getting older guys at school to like talk to me. And I'm like, dude, whatever. It's a skate video. Her face is blurred out. Like she did it.
We asked her. She said, okay.
No, like we didn't threaten her or anything. I was just like, please, will you do this? It's going to make my part stand out, you know? And it did. Like so many people like, dude, the girl's tits, the fuck you line. Like how great was that?
Yeah, I'm going to go to Plus and ask you to play it now. I don't think I saw it because last time I was just looking for, I was just looking for that clip of what I was telling you about. So I was just ready for a quick clip at Rollins and just
yeah.
She probably right here.
Yep.
Yeah, look at that.
Bastard, you saw it?
I saw it.
Dang.
Right, bro.
When did you see it?
Yeah, I've seen that video made, though.
Where?
Not recently.
Like you had a VHS or you were watching it at someone's place? Like I've never seen.
I saw it first.
Alright, whatever. Fuck you.
My buddy Greg Brown, if we can't find it, remind me. This kid I play poker with now, like we have a poker night that we have at my house every once in a while, and this kid, he claims to have every video that like me or Jack were ever in, because like we were all pretty like good homies, and he was, you know, a kid that would get the video and he kept everything like in the same spot. And to this day, Chris Blake went over to his house a couple months ago, and Chris Blake even said that this kid has everything. Fuck You, Spotless, 1, 2, all the videos that Jack made. This video called Hammer Time that like I don't even know if he ever came out with it, but like apparently Greg Brown is like the OG and has all the videos. So we gotta hit him up
again.
Yeah,
I lost mine.
Hit up Greg Brown.
That was a good one. Yeah, I was a big fan of Jack for sure. He's probably why I like switch heels and nollie heels, and probably just started skating switch.
Yeah,
might have been one of the first locals.
He's always had switch heels super good. He's the reason why I still skate. Like one of the big reasons why I still skate. I just still see him out in LA, still skating.
His
kickflips look like an ollie.
And I can't even.
He's been able to 3-flip since like 1995. Like it's crazy.
I remember his part in that first USS video. He had that kickflip down the 11 in Tampa as his ender, and it was just as perfect as can be. And ever since then, it was all about. Or me personally, it was like switch tricks and landing on the bolts, because he always did that, and that was the thing I would always go for. Bless you. You're welcome. So when did you start? You had to slow down from skating for a bit.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a whole long story. I'll try to sum it up relatively quick. Basically, when I was like 17, 18 years old, I had done pretty good in high school. My parents were like, where are you going to go to college? You know? And like my mom wanted me to get the fuck away from Orlando. I don't know if she just didn't want me around anymore. She wanted me to grow up. I think she just wanted me to grow up. So she like encouraged me to leave and go away for college. And I remember I was 18 and I was still skating a lot, filming parts. Like I had probably just filmed for Buddy Buddy and some of those videos. And I remember being like, fuck, like if I go to college, like I wonder if I'm going to still be able to skate like the same that I am now. But they talked me into it, and I went to University of Miami, and they have like this amazing flat ground spot with those two white, like it's one big white ledge that like Stevie Williams did. It's like a
basketball court?
Well, it's actually like just on a patio. It's just on a patio. The ground is green and it's like marble ground, and there's a big white stage, and you can skate the side of the stage. Stevie Williams did like switch pop shove at nose ground on the ledge, and it's super tall. He did like no, it's at University of Miami.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we've been to it once.
But it's not there right now. Like it was there for a while, but this spot was amazing. It was a very tall ledge, but it's on perfect ground, front side and back side, and then the flat ground, you're skating on marble flat ground.
Yeah, it was smooth.
Yeah, so I made it, like, even though I was in school, I was in college, I still skated that place every week, learned tricks, did a couple tricks on the ledges, and then like MIA Skate Shop was around. I entered a couple contests at MIA Skate Shop. I think I got like second place in one of them. So I was like still skating, but by the end of college, I was a little worn out. Like I had fucking studied a lot, partied a lot, skated a lot. And I would say that like, I slowed down the most probably when I was like 23 to like 26, because that's when I went to law school actually. Like I was done with college and I majored in psychology, and like no one was offering me a job. And I felt like, why did I just do that? Like I kind of wish I would have just like went and skated or went and started my own business, because I was there for 4 years. You spend all that money, and then people are like, oh, well, what graduate school did you go to? And I'm like, wait, I just got a degree, and now you're asking me like what school I go to next. And it felt like this fucking never-ending saga of school. So I was bummed that I went to college and didn't have like any job offers whatsoever. So one of my friends was in like finishing up law school, and he's like, dude, you're smart. There's no way you're gonna get a fucking job right now, like with what you ended up studying. Like you're kind of kind of fucked. But if you go to law school, I think that you'd be good at it. So I fucking went to law school, which, I don't know if I had to redo it, if I would have done it. It was a lot of stress. It was like actually difficult as fuck. But I went to law school at University of Miami too.
Oh, okay.
But then the fucking ledge is gone. They knocked down the ledge, and I'm super busy. And then I get like a girlfriend that I ended up living with. So like those 3 years were just like very little skating, which sucked. So like that's when I really slowed down. But then after law school, when I actually got a job as a lawyer and like kind of had a little more time, had a little bit of money in my pocket, started skating again. And then like since then I still skate, just, you know, flat ground, ledges, flat bars, skate parks. I haven't filmed a fucking trick, and we gotta go film. We gotta get some lines.
Yeah, I remember you wanted to go hit a powered one day, and I'm down to or something.
I'll still hook myself if I'm filming, but I'm not just gonna do it when I'm like shredding by myself. I gotta make sure someone's there if I fall.
I hear you. No, let's get it in for sure.
For sure.
I think, that last Sunday that we tried to actually plan to do it, it rained.
It rained. It's been raining like fucking every day.
You got to go skate day?
No, it was raining all day when I was at work. Oh yeah. And then I got off work.
I forgot that we drove away from the rain. We went to St. Pete, and then I seen people's stories, just like rain pouring. I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, it was pouring. So that was a bummer.
Orlando.
Yeah. I need to go to the indoor park. Is it called Metro?
Yeah, Metro Skateboard Academy.
I haven't even been there. How far is that from here? It's close?
Yeah, it's like 10 minutes. It's down Kirkman, left on LB McLeod.
Okay.
And there's this Orlando like Metro like gymnastics place, and it's like kind of like partnered off of them, but it's just further back, where the warehouses are.
It's like a fun spot, right?
Yeah. The only issues was helmets, because nobody likes to wear helmets.
Yeah.
And I think that was really the only issue. It's really slippery there.
Yeah.
So that's annoying as well, but. Yeah, that's the main thing, is that nobody liked wearing helmets when they went there. I think it's just $8 to get in, and it's not always slippery. When I go and teach, I usually sweep the park in the morning, just to help out with the dust, because dust does definitely collect. And I actually started doing it more once I'm trying to teach kids, stuff, and they learned how to like knee slide or slide out of stuff to not get hurt. But they're like, can you pull a splinter out my pants and all this stuff? And like I was having to do it a lot.
Holy shit.
So that was the main thing that motivated me to start sweeping the park in the mornings. And it wasn't even like crazy like deep, but it was enough for me to have to do it for them, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, you should go check it out. They got a good bowl over there. I don't touch it really, but it looks nice when people skate it.
I won't touch it.
And there's a forced air with the flat bar going down, forced air rail going down it, and 2 hubs going down the side. So yeah, it's a good spot if you're trying to get out of the sun. Oh yeah, and the mini ramp, it's kind of the same way the mini ramp was at Vans. The spine in the middle, and then the little hump on the side. It's actually this dude Shane who has the mini ramp with the spine from Vans. Have you follow him on Instagram?
I don't think so.
It's like Mountain Dew Mulligan, I think, or Mountain Mulligan. I think his name is Shane, I believe. But
he has the ramp now?
Yeah.
Oh, really? That's tight.
I'll show you really quick, just so.
I'm saying that's my excuse for never being good at skating mini ramp. I never had my own. Like none of my friends even had one. Like I never really knew anyone had it.
So Shane Mulligan.
Oh, nice.
And.
Oh my god, that looks so fun, dude.
It's the exact same one from before. He put the Mountain Dew thing on it, but I don't know how he got it. I was thinking that, Rodney Mead? Mm-hmm. I thought it was the same person who owned both, but I don't know. I gotta go talk to these people in person, because I'm out of the loop.
Yeah, same.
But yeah, maybe you can go over there or just hit up Metro. What else has been going on? Music. You did some music, right?
Yeah, man. When I was 15, I fucked around and was rapping with my friends and just kind of bullshitting. But never anything serious. And then recently, when I was like studying for the bar exam, like the exam you have to pass to actually practice law, it was stressing me the fuck out. I was getting like really stressed out and like mentally just not really channeling my energy really well. So I was like, you know what, like a way to kind of focus and like not study so hard and shit would be, I think it'd be fun to make music again. So I just started like listening to samples and like using drum machines and like just getting as creative as I can.
So you produce as well.
So I'm mainly doing right now, like I enjoy production the most. Like I'll write lyrics and I'll write poetry, but like I love to like make an instrumental, find an artist to sing or rap on it and like work with them and come up with something cool, and then like mix and master when it's all said and done. And I probably have like 12 to 15 songs right now that I really like that have some other artists featured on them. I think I'm on like 1 or 2 of them, and then some of them are just instrumentals, and I think it would actually be pretty good music for like skate videos and stuff. So I'm gonna I plan on releasing that. And my producer name is The Good Wolff, so I go by The Good Wolff, and that's why my Instagram name's The Good Wolff.
Gotcha.
I decided to pick a name that wasn't in use yet, which was fucking tough.
Yeah, for sure. I remember trying to look for stuff or try and pick a name for some of the things I wanted to do, and people would take the name but like not even actually like start anything with it. Yep. They just like grabbed it, and then I was like,
and on Spotify and like SoundCloud, going on there and trying to search for names, it's like if it's not, somebody doesn't have it on Instagram, then they already took it on Spotify. If somebody doesn't have a Spotify, they took it on Instagram. And so I had to take The Good Wolff and spell the wolf with a U, and that's kind of what I settled on. But fuck it, I'm cool with it. Yeah. I mean, music's, I think, like you probably like got into like cooler music because of skateboarding, right? Like,
yeah, I feel like I have a wide variety of music genres that I like because of skate videos.
Same.
Definitely influenced the music I like, for sure. And I prefer it that way. Like if I didn't grow up watching skate videos, like I probably just like the shit on the radio.
Exactly, man. Like I used to watch 411. I had like 411 29 through 50. And those videos had the dopest music, you know, like underground hip hop, The Grouch, all the way to like Vast, this fucking group Vast. I don't know if you've heard of Vast, but they're super dope. Just all these bands and all these artists that I would have never heard of. And that helped me definitely have a better taste for music. So even now when I make music, I kind of know, I at least know what I don't want. Like I don't want like poppy radio shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, skateboarding fucking made music way more important to me, because, you know, a lot of people that just listen to pop music, they like 5 artists, you know, they like 5 things, or like they obsess over just one artist, where like skateboarders, we've seen so many skate parts and so many videos that there's like 100 artists that we like, and there's 100 or 500 albums that we really like, and we're like connected through them through a video where we got to see some dude shred to it. So I feel like skateboarders and music, all the skateboarders I've almost ever met have a pretty good taste in music and make music. Like that guy Kiffy now, super good guitarist. He's been a guitarist since he was like fucking 10, and he's super good and he's a great musician.
I found his Instagram and I saw some stuff of him playing. It was really good, for real. Like you said, I was like forgiven for the whole fuck you thing. Yo, like, yo, I'm just like, yo, I'll meet you, and like, yo, like it's really good. It wasn't like, I'm sure he can play the guitar well, but what he was playing, the video that I'm talking about, it wasn't even a guitar. It was like
the steel string.
Yes. Right? And it was beautiful, yo. It was really good. I love all like instruments, so and I'm a music lover for sure. That was really cool.
I remember going to his house in Lake Mary when we were 13, and he was playing the guitar. Like he could play entire songs and play chords and play progressions like nothing. So I can only imagine, because I know he's been playing ever since. We're talking almost 20 years later, and he's like, you know, seems like he's kind of all over the world. You never know. Like he's in a lot of different places playing music. And the stuff that I see, yeah, he's dope. He's really good. What about you? What got you into music? I see that you play guitar, right?
Yeah. Really for me, the whole music thing was, I had the whole issue with the choice between dancing and skating, and being encouraged to dance over skate, because that would bring money in faster, and that's what you're supposed to do with life, I guess. And not having a way to really talk about it, I would just kind of always just play music, not even like sing or anything, but just play music. So that's really what motivated all that, was just I wasn't happy with that situation, so I started finding a way. I don't know, that was my therapy for that whole situation. And yeah, that's how I got in all that. You have a SoundCloud link?
I have a SoundCloud link. I think it's
Wolff?
just everything now. All my music now is under the Good Wolff, just 3 words, the Good Wolff, Wolff with the U. I'm definitely going to release this project. I think I'm going to call it Feed the Good Wolff, because that's kind of where I got the name from. And I'm going to release it on Spotify and fucking all the platforms, you know, just get somebody to just, like, I think I use TuneCore or something and release all of it. So hopefully in the next couple months, I'll have all that music out. And like, I'm psyched because like I said, I think a lot of these instrumentals that I made, I think would go really good with skateboarding. So I'm hoping that like skaters will hit me up and ask me to use the songs. Cause if anyone wants to, if they hit me up,
I want to hear it.
Yeah, I'll definitely let people use it for skate videos for no cost. Just shout me out. Like,
hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always looking forward to hearing music from other skaters because I feel like we kind of came up on the same music that we were inspired by watching skate videos. So I feel like they would always make good music for skateboarding for sure. But yeah, I remember listening to some of your stuff when I first found you on Instagram and stuff because I was following your, I think, fitness or health page. Because that was when I was posting the buddy stuff, and I was like, let me look up all these people who's on here, and that's the one I found first. And then eventually you're like, P.S., this is my actual one. This is just mine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing it whenever you do release it.
I can actually stand by this project too. Like, no embarrassment. Like, you know, I feel like we're all our own worst critic, and like we're pretty insecure about our music because it's like you feel exposed. You know, like you spend time doing something and then you put it out there for anyone to just be like, this sucks. You know what I mean? So like, I definitely feel exposed when I make music, but I don't know. I think in the back of my mind, I was like, I'm gonna be as real as possible, and I'm gonna find artists that I look up to and get them on the project. So I found a couple people that like I didn't even think would say yes to making music with me, and they said yes.
Nice.
So now I feel like when I put this out, I'm actually going to promote it and I'm going to be proud of it, and I want other people to use it for their videos and stuff. Like I'm actually proud of it. So yeah, I'm like excited to release it. My girlfriend talks shit all the time. She's like, you make all this music and no one's ever heard it, and it's a fucking waste. And like she just wants me to release it, so I'm going to for sure.
All right, I want to talk about Enblume now.
Yeah.
And how that got started, because I really like what you're doing with that.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. So Enblume actually didn't start as a clothing brand. It started as just a project. When I quit my job, I was actually a prosecutor for 2 years. So I told you I went to law school. Then I became a prosecutor, which is like so fucking anti-skateboarder.
Yeah.
Like, skateboarders, you do not need to be a prosecutor. Prosecutor is the guy that gets these cases of people who get arrested and basically tries to prove that they're guilty. So I was a prosecutor for 2 years, but I was a dope prosecutor. Like, I dropped a lot of weed cases. Any skateboarders that came through, I dropped their cases. I always got in trouble at work because I was not putting people in jail. Everyone else was putting people in jail, and I would like tell the judge, like I would convict somebody, but be like, Judge, I don't think this guy needs to go to jail. So like I did what I could, but at the end of the day, I was still convicting people of crimes like all the time. And I did that for 2 years, and it fucking drove me literally insane. At the end of the 2-year mark, I was living with a good friend of mine, and he could tell that I was super unhappy, and I just went to this super dark place. And I told my boss one day, I was like, I can't do this anymore. So I quit that job, and for like the next 3 to 6 months, I like didn't talk to people. Like, you know, like you hear people like kind of like disappear.
Yeah.
I became severely depressed, like clinically depressed. I mean, I'm a talkative guy. I'll sit here and talk with you all day. Like, I love talking to people. I love skating. I love music. Didn't skate, didn't make music, didn't talk to my friends, like pretty much hid in a room and like spent a little bit of money that I saved up, like basically spent it all, and was just very depressed. And then like I ended up like kind of like going to some of my family and close friends, and I was like, they knew I was fucked up, and I was like, dude, I'm fucked up. Like, I feel like a hypocrite for prosecuting all these people. I feel like I've done like some pretty cool stuff in my life, but then it amounted to like me being this fucking dude in a suit and like not even defending people. Like, it just, so like I need to talk to somebody about it. So I went to therapy. Like, I saw professionals, and like I got professional help, and I got better. Like, it took me like probably from the time that I quit that job, probably about a year until I was normal again, skating, working out, hanging out with my friends. But like that period, like like this guy Chester Bennington, the guy from Linkin Park, he just died by suicide, and Kate Spade just died by suicide. Anthony Bourdain just died by suicide. That's where I was. Like every day I woke up and I was like, is today the day that I'm just gonna be fucking over this? And like, never in my life would I have thought that I would get there, but I got there. And like Will Durham, he's a guy that everyone used to look up to, and he died by suicide. So like it could happen to anybody, right?
Jeez, I didn't know that's how it went.
Yeah. So like it's so easy to fucking get to this dark place, but you don't realize it's easy until you get there. So, and like, I'm a happy guy. Like most of my life, I've never had those kind of problems. So when it happened to me, I was like, this happened to me for a reason. I'm not going to be like, I'm not going to say pussy, but like a lot of people are just, they don't want to talk about it. They won't be open about it. They won't be vulnerable about like struggling mentally. And I remember once I got better, I was like, I'm promising myself that like for the rest of my life, I'm going to talk about mental health, and I'm going to encourage other people to open up about it. Because if we talk about it more, and you can call your homie or even somebody that's not even that close with you, but they're the only person that's available, you'd be like, yo man, like I need you to come over. Like I'm feeling fucking, like I'm in a dark place. Like come over, let's go watch a movie. Like I need to keep my mind occupied. We got to create that culture.
Yeah.
If we create that culture, we could stop. There's 800,000 people a year that die by suicide. So 800,000 deaths that like most of them could probably be prevented if we had like a society that understood it more. So that's where Enblume came from. Right as I was healing and getting better, I met this girl. She had gone through kind of a similar thing, like gone through some dark times, and we started dating, and like we both opened up to each other more than like we've opened up to anyone else about like the real shit, like what I actually thought was going to happen to me. I had all these very dark thoughts that like the world was going to end and it was my fucking fault that the world was going to end, like just terrible shit. Well, once we like kind of talked about it, we're like, wow, like I feel better. She's like, I feel better. And like, it was like over a couple months. She's like, why don't we like make a project that's dedicated to like this, that's dedicated to talking about mental health, that's dedicated to like maybe raising money, raising awareness for like mental health organizations. So she's like, she wanted to do it. And I was like, I want to do it too. And we were like, she loves flowers, and she's like, what about Enblume, like Inbloom? And I'm like, yeah, like of course Enblume would be great, but that's taken a million ways to Sunday. I was like, we gotta spell it differently. So like I came up with Enblume, and I like the way it looks. She likes the way it looks. So that's our project. We started on Instagram. We started gaining a following. Like people direct message us every day, like, hey, I'm suicidal. Like, what can I do? Or like, hey, my brother's suicidal. Wow. And like, we talk to people, like we're all like, I'm not a licensed psychologist, but I did major in psychology. So I'll be like, look, like you should first and foremost get a therapist, call the suicide hotline if you're like suicidal. But if you just want to vent to a friend and like chat, I can give you tips about some stuff that I do. So like we started getting all these people, and we started like creating this network online. And then we were like, let's make merch and like promote it, like and make it bigger. So like we came up with this, like our tag phrase is rise from the struggle, because usually you go through fucking really hard times and you come out stronger. You know what I mean? Like I know that you've probably been, you know, like when you're debating on to go on this cruise and you have all this, you know, you have all these obstacles, but once you struggle, afterwards you have two choices. You can like go, woe is me and my life sucks, or you can be like, now I'm fucking more prepared than ever. So that's kind of like our whole thing. We're Enblume. We want you to rise from the struggle. We want people to be able to talk about mental health. Dude, people like, I wish I could say names, but like I'm not, but like so many people, whether they're skaters or musicians, like so many people have hit me up and been like, you know, don't tell anyone, but like I've been struggling with depression for 5 years, and like I know I'm the class clown, but that's why I do it. And I try to motivate those people. Hey, like maybe talk about it, like write about it, do whatever you can. So, you know, I don't think I've made a big dent yet, but that's the goal. Like we want to open up our own fucking like mental health treatment centers that are not these cookie cutter hospitals, to where like if you're fucked up, you can go there, hang out for a couple weeks, play guitar. It's not some fucking insane asylum with white walls. It's like there's graffiti on the walls, and the people who work there are really cool and actually help people get better. So like that's what Enblume's about. And you could tell like I'm super passionate about it, because everyone in some point in their life gets in a dark spot. And it might be 10 years from now. You might have a wife and she fucking divorces you. You know, your child could pass away. You could get cancer. Whatever happens that could get you into a dark spot. And like, I want this brand to be a place for people to go and get advice, for people to support, and eventually, hopefully, it's a place where we might actually have like physical places that are run by Enblume that could just be like hubs all around the world for people who need like mental health treatment. So
wow,
that's Enblume, man.
Wow. Yeah. I didn't know everything you had planned for it, but
yeah, dude.
That's cool that you had that many people engaged before.
Yeah, before we ever made a shirt. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know, but obviously that's what this is for, to get the backstory on everything. Yeah, man. So that's really cool. I'm glad that you're impacting people and that people are reaching out to you, and that it's going well. I'm glad that you're even doing it, because it is important for sure. Mental health. I recently lost a friend to suicide, who it was just really unexpected.
It always is, man. Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that, but that's the problem. He probably wasn't like comfortable talking to people about it, and you can't fix it. It sucks.
Well, what Instagram, is it just Enblume?
Yeah, so the Instagram is just Enblume, Enblume, and like, I mean this. I've heard everything, man. I've heard crazy, wild stories. I've heard thoughts, delusional. If you just want to chat with somebody and get advice, or you want to vent, or you have a question about a friend that's maybe suicidal, hit me up. Like, just direct message us anytime, and we'll respond within the day. And we do it all the time. And there's been a couple nights where I stayed up till 3 a.m. talking to some girl in the United Kingdom who was like literally wanting to commit suicide, and didn't want to call a hotline. And she's like, "Will you just talk to me for a couple hours?" And I was like, "Fuck it, I'll talk to you for a couple hours." And at the end of it, she's like, "You know what? I feel better." And she still messages me.
I definitely feel like we all have our own passions for what we want to do, and we all have to do our own specific things to keep ourselves in shape to do the best we can, for what we want to do. What do you do to stay healthy for yourself?
Yeah.
To be able to stay on top of everything you want?
Yeah. Right now, I feel like I'm definitely doing the best regimen that I've ever done. I've done periods where I've done like just weight training, just skating, but a lot of that wasn't practical. It wasn't like fun. So now I definitely have a pretty solid diet. Like, I'm kind of a pescatarian. I'll eat chicken here and there, but mainly fish, a lot of vegetables, and I drink like kombucha and shit like that. I'm big into like the healthy stomach stuff.
What's kombucha?
And then kombucha is fermented tea. I actually make my own kombucha with one of my buddies, and it's like literally like you leave tea out and it kind of spoils, it goes bad. And like this organism called a SCOBY like starts eating all the sugar in the tea, and that adds bacteria to the tea. And when you drink that, it's like good bacteria for your body and for your stomach, and it kind of helps you break down food. She was drinking one. Lisa was drinking one when I got here. That was the drink that I was talking to her about. She had a really tasty one. Nice. Stuff that I make, not as tasty as hers. But so I'll eat. I try to eat a pretty good diet. Every once in a while, I eat whatever I want. But like, for the most part, I'm eating a pretty solid diet. And then I still like hit the gym, like actual weight train, maybe 2 to 3 days a week, get a little pump, get all my muscles just kind of worked out. And then I try to skate once or twice a week for like, I'm one of those dudes where like, I like to skate hard for like an hour or two, and then like usually I'm done. So I almost look at it as like a workout. Like, I go, I skate, and I'm not like sitting there chilling the whole time. I'm like, if I'm trying to line, I'll try a line for 45 minutes straight. And then when I get it, I'm like, and then I'll rest. Yeah. So like, I like to skate hard for like shorter spurts. And I think I'm not really able to like kind of just skate all day. Like, once I get warmed up, I got to skate until I'm done, and then I'm done. So I skate once or twice a week. That's like my meditation and my cardio exercise. And then one of my close friends recently just got me into running. I don't really like running, but maybe once a week I'll run like a 3-mile jog with him. And that's really helps clear my mind, keep me healthy. And then another thing that I do that I've always done that I recommend people do is stretching. Yeah. I actually think stretching feels good. So I stretch like in the morning when I'm in the shower. When I get out of the shower, I'll stretch. Before I skate or work out, I'll stretch. And then it actually is good to stretch a little bit before bed. Stretch out your muscles a little bit from the whole day. And it usually helps me fall asleep a little easier because I relax. So I would say between like the diet, working out, skating, and stretching, all those together are like now my new regimen. And I definitely feel like I've kind of like tapped into like what's going to keep me the healthiest and keep me the youngest. So, I mean,
yeah, we're kind of the same. I mean, well, just being older, like I definitely got to take the time to warm my body up, and learning the difference between warming your body up and stretching, you know, like getting the blood flowing kind of thing, opposed to just going straight for the stretch. And I even try and like, I mean, it's on the schedule at skate camp, but trying to get the kids to like warm up and stretch at the beginning of the days, and it's kind of challenging, but I get them to do it. And it's easier when they don't do it and then they eat shit, and I'm like, you were hyped and ready, but when you missed your board, you weren't ready to run out of it, and that's why you fell on your face. Like, you got to warm your body up. Like, I'll break it down and explain it, and as soon as somebody does a one shot, I'll be like, don't pull to this, and say that person's name, so everybody, but you know, I figure out a way to like explain it, because I definitely get being younger and not having to warm up and stretch as much, but there are still things involved in the sense of just being safe, you know. Maybe everything's warmed up for the trick you want to do, but if you miss your foot, to safely bail from it, because that's part of skating, knowing how to fall. Like, if you're not warmed up to do that, you're a sack of potatoes.
Yeah.
And then I gotta ice your elbow.
Just fall, really, dude. The awkward falls can be avoided a lot of times if you are just like in the zone, warmed up, and you see like really. I love watching like the cuts on Thrasher, where they'll show like the raw footage of like the makes,
rough cuts, yeah,
the rough cuts. The best dudes fall so gracefully, like. They're so loose. You can tell they're so loose and they're so focused. They see their board, they know how to kick it out, or like they'll move their foot just a tiny bit to the right, and like if they didn't do that, like their ankle's broken. Yeah. And it's like broken ankle if they don't do it, and like no big deal of a fall if they do it. And I love watching that footage, because it's like I almost want to get that in my mind of like, you know, part of skating is like being awesome at bailing. Yeah, like, you have to be awesome.
Just knowing how to fall and knowing how to not hurt yourself is what makes or breaks the whole thing.
For sure.
And it's definitely, that's the thing that separates like most people from skateboarders, like people who tried it once and then got hurt and then they're just like never again, versus like actual skaters who will push themselves to the point of not giving up as soon as they feel some kind of pain, but trying a few more times till we actually land it and we feel what it feels like to roll away from a trick. And then that's why we're like, oh, so now this is worth it. Where other people who never even tried again after first getting hurt, they don't know what that feels like. So
yeah, dude, it's a glory. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like the first time you land like a legitimate trick after trying it for a while and you roll away, you feel like fucking glorious. Yeah, it's like such a good moment.
It's almost like we had to go through our own initiation to become skateboarders, like for real. Yeah, because no one else was going to tell us like, yeah, you just hit your shin, like, but try it again because it'll feel good when you land it. Like we kind of all made that decision for ourselves.
I like that. That's a good way to put it. Really cool. I wanted to fucking nollie heel the 9 at Evans, and I had nollie heeled this 4-stair like fucking legit 30 times in a row. Like it was like a 4-stair at Winter Park High, and I was nollie heeling it. I was like, I can do this every try. I'm gonna go do that on the 9, and I just showed up to the 9 and started trying. Like, and there was like 2 hours in between. And then I drove there and I just started trying the nollie heel without ollieing it, without doing anything. And like, I think like one of the first couple tries I ate shit, and I was like, well, that didn't go very well. And like, I never nollie heeled it. And I think someone else ended up doing it like the next year.
I remember Evan did it really proper. Yeah. So who knows if that was the first one.
Yeah, he deserves it.
I found Evans because I don't know if I was the first person to skate it, but I had to go take my SATs. And that's when I first went to Evans. And then leaving, I was like, Mom, we're not leaving.
It's a good 9-stair, dude.
And then I brought Andrew and Nick and them, and I kickflipped it. And I didn't even have the best kickflips, but it was definitely like a primo catch. Now, I landed one fine, but right when I got to the grass, I kind of like was falling off, so I jumped off. But then I was like, no, I want to roll away for real. And then the very next one, like I caught it primo, like it almost over-rotated, but then just right before I landed, like somehow went back. So I landed that, but my like chin hit my knee. So as I'm rolling away, like clear roll away, I just jump off because I'm like, and I was just like, that's enough, that's fine.
That's awesome.
But so I was the first person who I saw skate it, but I doubt I was the first person to find it.
It's funny that we're talking about a spot. Another one also there, I tried to nollie over the handrail. So like coming from the left side, because I'm goofy, like nollie over it like backside. And I just remember going like 1,000,000 miles an hour and like almost landing in the grass, but like never putting it down. Like, because I was like, oh,
almost to the grass.
The only way that I could nollie this is if I go super fast. There's like these mats that are on the left side. So most people start on the right. So I was rolling over the mats. It would be like, dook, 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 dook. And then I would try to pop the nollie and I never did it. I would have loved to get that. Like I tried really hard and did not get it.
My favorite thing from Evans is, I don't remember which part. It's USS 2. It's your red room part where the dude's running up to grab like a camera or something, and you're just like, ah! You run up to him, and then he plays it again and you slow mo it. That was priceless.
Yeah, I remember that day.
Yeah, we're gonna watch that part. I don't know when's the last time you saw it, but I can throw it in.
Yeah, I would love to watch it. I haven't watched it in like at least 5 years.
Really quick though, I want to give you a little gift.
Oh, sweet, man. Appreciate it.
I wanted to give you a hat, but I sold out. Gratefully, but yeah.
Hey, I rock shirts more anyway, man. I love shirts. I appreciate it. I'm gonna give you an Enblume shirt.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Rise from the struggle.
Ooh, I like your material better.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Next level.
Oh, that's what I got for the girls. Cause I was like, we're gonna be skating. We're gonna be eating shit. I don't want
this is a tougher shirt. Yeah, that's like gonna be thin.
I might need to switch it up. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, me too. I'll be rocking this for sure.
Is there anyone that you grew up just looking up to?
Who did I grow up looking up to?
Are those skaters or parents or?
Probably. I was trying to think of who comes to my mind. The first person to come to my mind was Eric Costin. Eric Costin was always just like the best when I was growing up. He was the best. He was the GOAT. I think he still is in the GOAT conversation. And he seemed like an interesting guy. He had like a very unique personality for a skater. And like now he has the barracks. He's got a family. He seems like a pretty good guy. And I think I still look up to him. I've pretty much always looked up to Eric Costin since I had the Costin ones when they came out. So it's been a long time with him as like my role model. So yeah, I would say Eric Costin.
What would you consider the best advice you were ever given?
The best advice I was ever given, probably my favorite advice that I try to apply now is don't be afraid to go after more than one thing. There's a lot of people I see online now. They're like, whatever you're good at, just do that and don't do anything else. And I think that's just like super rigid. And I feel like a lot of people follow that advice. And then if you go down that road and it doesn't work out, like you're fucked. Like you have one thing. So like if you like 3 different things or 2 things or 4 things, like why not work a little bit at all of them and maybe have like a main hustle, but don't be afraid to like also be interested, like how you dabble in music. Also you do videography, plus you have Just Chill. Like I think we're all like that. We all have things that we're interested in. So don't be afraid to like be busy and have multiple projects going on, because you'll meet more people and you have a better chance of just making the projects work out when you don't keep such like a rigid tunnel vision. So I think that's advice that not many people take, but I take it and I think it pays off for sure.
Definitely.
Bullet shell took my niggas life. Triggers pulled by some young niggas on that white. He used to fuck with the boys on feeling anyway. About these fuck niggas dying young on this every day. Let the race spit up in your trap for you to clog out. Had a face, but you should have had your fucking clog out. Most of y'all wanna see some blood spilling anyway. About these fuck niggas dying young on this every day. Let the race spit up in your trap for you to clog out. Had a face, but you should have had your fucking clog out.
So, thank you again. I appreciate it.
Had a good time. We gotta now, next time we meet up, we gotta film. You gotta
Yeah.
get a couple tricks of me doing some old man shit.
Nah, you still got it. Nah, yeah, we'll get together soon. We'll hit up Howard or find some spots for sure. Thanks again.
All right, man. Take it easy.
It be like
Peace.
chill.
So thank you again for tuning in to Chill Recognize Chill. This was the very first one. We got Parker Landers. Our battery has died, and by ours I mean mine. And the next episode I'll be more prepared. Thank you again.
Awesome, man. Thanks for having me.